Major Franklin slogan. No flash photography in the dark areas. Yeah, flash cameras will be fine once we get to the light greenhouses. Yeah, video cameras are fine anywhere as long as you don't use the bright spotlights. I'll be talking to you again at the light greenhouses. Until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy living with the land.
Welcome to a voyage of discovery and awareness of the richness, the diversity, and the often surprising nature of living with the land. Our journey begins as dramatic and sudden changes are sweeping over the land. The approaching storm may seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning in the cycle of life. Beneath the surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements, when combined with sunlight, create the diverse living systems of our planet. One of those living systems is the rainforest, home to the most amazing concentration of life on our planet. These dense and beautiful forests cover only a tiny portion of the Earth's surface, but they contain more than half of its plant and animal species. Rainforests are also extremely rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicines, and other elements essential to our lives. The American prairie once appeared as desolate as the desert, but over time, rainwater and nutrients gradually penetrated the hard surface of this land. Even the hooves of the mighty buffalo helped create the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm. Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use, and sometimes overuse, of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our methods. Today, we're learning to live with the land, discovering better ways to grow food that will assure both human and environmental well-being. In farmlands across America, we're learning that by plowing under vegetation containing natural fertilizers, we can enrich the soil without the use of chemicals. In Saudi Arabia and Mexico, we're learning to produce food on desert seacoasts by developing and planting crops that thrive on salt water. Here at EPCOT, we're learning to reduce the need for pesticides by using natural predators. How will we meet tomorrow's growing needs for food production, yet still respect the needs of the land? Some of the answers are being discovered just ahead.
Hello everyone, my name is George and I work here at the land. I'll be taking you through some of the most exciting and innovative areas in all of EPCOT. Here in our living laboratories, the scientists from EPCOT, Department of Agriculture, NASA, and Nestle's are exploring innovative and sustainable methods of food production. Some of the world's most important food crops raised in our tropics greenhouse. The cacao is the plant source for chocolate. In an effort to save space and energy, we grow the cacao with the sweet potato and the leucaena. This is intercropping, growing two or more crops in the same space at the same time. Shadings to green or ripened papaya fruit can be used in the production of tenderizer. In the terraces on the right, we grow rice and peanuts in the same space, but not at the same time. After harvest, we switch them around. This is crop rotation. Nitrogen left in the sand by the peanut makes a natural fertilizer for the rice. This is fertilization through crop rotation. Now, our plants in this greenhouse are growing in totally sterilized sand. All of the water and all of the nutrients are delivered directly to the roots through our computerized drip irrigation system. The roots of the cassava are used in the production of tapioca. Now, when I mention farming, you probably don't think about fish. But fish farming or aquaculture can produce tons of fish in an aqua cell like we're entering right now. The perch, bass, tilapia, and catfish are often featured in restaurants throughout Walt Disney World. Systems like this can produce fishing in harsh climates, probably even the desert. Now, the alligator is no longer an endangered species. There are more than 1 million alligators in Florida. Some are raised on farms, millions in hides, just like these are. Others play a key role in wetlands conservation. All told, we produce about 65 million pounds of fish per year in this aqua cell. Our next greenhouse will be the temperate greenhouse. Just as was true in the tropics, the sand is totally sterile. All of the water and all the nutrients are delivered directly to the roots through our computerized drip irrigation system, which you'll find just to the right as we exit the tunnel. This is farming without soil or hydroponics. Now, just before we exit this greenhouse, on the right-hand side, you'll find the clover and the sorghum growing together. This will be intercropping once again. But clover is a lagoon, so it takes nitrogen from the air, converts it to a natural fertilizer for the sorghum growing with it. This is fertilization through intercropping. Our next greenhouse will be the production greenhouse. In this greenhouse, you'll find our string gardens. The lettuce and the cucumbers growing vertically produce more food in less space. Vertical growing allows for better airflow between the leaves, which makes the plants more disease resistant. 70% of the water and nutrients are saved in this greenhouse through the use of a computerized irrigation system developed early in the land that releases only the water and nutrients needed. The lettuce plants on both sides of the canal are floating on styrofoam boards with their roots in a solution of water and nutrients. 1/3 of the world's food crops are lost to pests each year, and here we practice integrated pest management. Our first line of defense disease-resistant plants, like eggplants, pepper plants, and tomato plants. We also release predatory insects to eat the aphids and other plant-eating insects. This saves about 60% on pesticides. Some of the plants in this greenhouse are growing in duckwood, which is a fiberglass material like we use to insulate our homes with. Some of the plants are grown in perlite, which is a styrofoam material. Now, the next greenhouse will be the creative greenhouse. In this greenhouse, we'll be practicing aeroponics. As we enter, the A-frames on both sides hold about 700 lettuce plants each. We could grow about 100 lettuce plants in the same space flat on the ground. By aeroponics, I mean the roots are exposed to the air. The lettuce roots hang inside the hollow A-frames. The plants in the cylinders, their roots hang inside the hollow cylinders. The water and nutrients are sprayed directly on the bare roots. The squash get all the oxygen they need from the air, and as they go through the mist boxes, their roots are spread with the nutrients and water they need. In the lab to the right, we at the Department of Agriculture are exploring ways of making better plants through genetic engineering. So you see, there is a lot we can learn from science and nature about living with the land. The greenhouses and labs we just went through are only part of the story. After harvest, the crops need to be handled with care on their journey from field to table. Around the globe, scientists from Nestle's and other organizations are dedicated to improving the quality and taste of foods the world enjoys and relies on. Working together, preserve the land as a precious and beautiful resource while meeting the needs of our growing world. Only then will we truly be living with the land. Some of the vegetables grown in here are served in the Sunshine Seasons food fair, which is the food mall just off from the exit of the boat ride. Some of the vegetables are served in the garden grill upstairs in this building. The bass, catfish, tilapia, and perch are served throughout Walt Disney World property. Now, on behalf of Walt Disney World and Nestle, it has been my privilege sharing the unique experience of living with the land. If you would like to take a closer, more in-depth tour of the greenhouses and labs we just went through, you can take our behind-the-scenes walking tour. It's a 5-hour tour conducted by one of the researchers working right in the greenhouses and labs. It starts at the Greenville Emporium, which is the gift shop around the corner to the right with the green and yellow sign. Also around the corner to the right is a Blue Rocks concert. It is a rock and roll concert on food nutrition. Upstairs we have the Circle of Life. It's an environmental vehicle starring symbolism and moving from the Disney animated feature The Lion King. Now please remain seated, keep your hands and feet inside the boat until we come to the complete stop. Then carry your